I got this question the other day about how do you know if you're connected to the Akashic Records, and I want to do a little video on this, kind of giving you some kind of indicators that might help you know if you're connected or not. Some people feel something in their body, like a tingling in their head, especially on top of their head or in their body. You don't necessarily need to feel that to know that you're connected to the records, but for some people that can be helpful, or it's kind of like a confirmation that they're connected. Another indicator is you asking, this could be in your head or out loud, am I connected to the Akashic Records right now? And you'll get kind of like either you'll see a yes or a no, but you'll get a confirmation and kind of a word in your head. You'll feel like a yes or a no, and you have to trust that. If that's hard for you, then what you can do is grab, because whenever I open my own records, I always have either my computer and I type up. I usually prefer pen and paper. And I say pen because with a pencil, you'll be able to erase it. The idea is if you write something down, it stays. So the other part of it is grabbing a pen and paper and having that. The first question you always ask when you enter the records, this is when you're opening your own records, right? Is, are my Akashic records open right now? And see if you're guided to write yes or no. And obviously making sure you do your rituals before you connect of, meditating, connecting to yourself, centering yourself, making sure you're feeling in a calm state, and making sure that you're feeling calm. Because I think a lot of times we're trying to do it in a rush or in a hurry when we don't have enough time, and that doesn't help. If you're very much action-oriented, a good way to do that is just to start asking questions to see if you're connected, to see how the messages are coming through when you connect, because you'll know if it's kind of just flowing through you. I always say start with pen and paper, and I have a couple of questions just like written down that you can keep asking over and over again. Have a journal. I always recommend that as well. A journal where you just keep all of your questions and answers, and maybe you connect every day, maybe you connect every few days, or connect once a week. I always say at the beginning, it's better to try to do it every day for a little bit, even if it's 10-15 minutes. That kind of gets you into the energy of the records and feeling into it, and you kind of know when they're open. It's like kind of when you exercise a lot and you're like, oh, my body's tired, but I know I can still go. And when you're so in tune with your body, today has to be a rest day. I'm not feeling it. I need to calm down. I need to breathe. I need to do maybe some active rest. Or kind of just move, just go for a walk, but you don't want to push it too hard, right? The same thing kind of happens with the records, because you get so in tune with the energy, but you have to go in all the time and open. Even if at the beginning you don't get any messages, that's okay. At least you're still getting kind of in tune with the vibration of the records. Some other ways that I think could be helpful, some people use a pendulum, like you can have you can ask your pendulum after you open your records if they're open or not. You can pull a rune, you can pretty much do anything, maybe use tarot. But I think if you're one of those people that need constant confirmation or validation, I would say try not to lean on those things too much at the beginning. Go more the route of like the book and the pen, and start to find that trust within yourself. This is all about trust, because I can guarantee if you're opening your own records, they're gonna open eventually. I always tell this story, and I have a video up on my YouTube where I kind of explain my journey. I have a whole podcast episode on the Soul Tribe podcast as well. And I talk about my journey with the records and how hard it was for me to feel this connection. And it wasn't about that I wasn't connecting. I was connecting. I was definitely connecting. I just didn't trust the messages that were going through because I wasn't in tune with my body, my emotions. So I think there's always something really interesting about you first getting into some kind of practice of just feeling into your own energy, meditating, breathwork, maybe tapping. I don't know. Look into that. Look into what feels good for you, what resonates for you, and just feel into it and just practice. It's the consistency that allows you to know when you're connected or not. Like now, if my records were to open on their own, I know, I can feel it, I can connect with it, because the messages come through my brain in such an interesting way that it's hard for me not to feel it or know it, right? That does come with a lot of years of practice, so I wouldn't expect somebody that's just starting on this journey to feel that. But it's almost like looking at knowing if your records are open as this practice that you get so used to that you just feel into it and you start trusting the messages coming through, even if it's a word, even if it's a sensation, even just acknowledging something in your body, even if it's a vision. For some people, they're very visual. You may not be able to use pen and paper, right? So seeing what works. It's very much trial and error, curiosity, not pressure or judgment or expectation. All that's going to pull you into your ego and away from connecting. Other advice, start with simple questions, right? Like, don't go into these deep emotional things within yourself. Connect with just curiosity and things your mind wants to open up about that could feel really good just to get some answers. And even if they're very simple, one words at the beginning, open your mind and open your heart up to receiving. I always say, like, entering the records and receiving is about being in an open heart space. The more open your heart is, the more open your mind is, the easier the messages will come through. But it's all practice, right? So practice. I always say, like, even dedicate yourself 15 minutes every day for like 3 to 4 weeks and try that out and see how you evolve. And this is why keeping a journal is really, really cool, because you can date it, you can put what you can get kind of like into journaling as well within your journal, like journaling outside of the records of like, how did you feel when you were opening your records? Were you doubting yourself? What were the sensations coming through? And seeing how you evolve over time can be really interesting to see your journey and like keep track of it and see what you need to work on outside of the records. Because a lot of not connecting has nothing to do with you not being able to connect to the records. It's what's within you that doesn't believe that you can connect. Do you not feel deserving of it? Do you feel like you're not, I don't know, there's some people believe that they're not spiritual enough, or they feel that that it's just not their thing. That was like, for me, it was like, this isn't my thing. Like, why would I be able to connect, right? So it could be so many different blocks there, but we all have a right to our information to connect, and it's not going to come through the same way. So I wouldn't expect you to connect the same way I do, or for the messages to come through in the same way. Some people receive very almost like poetic messages. Some people are very straightforward. Some are very just short messages. Some can go down like a whole tangent, and it could be paragraphs of information with certain topics that they go into because their mind's more open to it. So explore, experiment, be curious. Don't go into it with judgment, because that will put you into your ego and away from connecting and receiving from, that higher vibration. In any case, I'd love for you guys to kind of just put any questions or any comments around your own journey. I'd love to be able to answer more questions around this. This question I actually got on one of my videos on YouTube, so I wanted to kind of address it here, and I'll post it on all the channels. And another question was, what does it feel like to be in the Akashic Records? And I'm going to do another video about that, so stay tuned.